next one up from this is a pro. It's a professional.
Hey, when I was up on stage, I was talking about the Bigfoot that's been seen, the big red one that people keep calling it Big Red.
Big Red, yeah.
So when I went back to my table, the hunter that took us out there and showed us where he seen it came up to my table, and we were standing there talking, and then this lady came up, and while he was still there, and she was talking and asking questions. She asked me, she said she heard me up there on the stage talk about Big Red, and she asked me why I talked about him. So I told her, and I showed her Tommy. I said, this is Tommy. He's the one that took me out and showed me where it was. He's seen it. She told me she was a medium. She said she usually communicates with angels. She said the other day she had a Sasquatch actually communicate with her, which really surprised her. And she said his name was Big Red.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That happens so often with you. Just matching up, right place at right time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my God. I wonder what did she say what they were talking about?
She didn't really say no.
Too far in depth or anything, yeah. I feel like that solidifies things even more.
I got her information. I want to talk to her more about it.
I was standing here and I was listening. I thought it sounded like a big pig that was eating and just moving once in a while. And I probably stood here an hour listening, being on the ready, hoping it would, the big one would be gone by, thinking it was a pig at the time. And then come about time when the pack of pigs would come through, and I could hear them moving through. And these weeds here were a little bit taller than what they were now, but they were back off about 3 foot back in off the road. And about as far as, well, not that far, probably about halfway between me and you. It jumped up, and it jumped because I could see probably from here up over top of bushes, and then it landed and stopped in the road. And it did that because when it jumped up and I saw it, my first instinct was run. And I'm scrambling up, and I turned, and I didn't even get my foot on the ground facing this way, and it was there in the road. And at that point, I pulled my bow up and started to draw back, and it ducked back in there again. So I started drawing my bow.
And we said, now this, of course, that was years ago, but we had said, Ken and I looked at this, and we had said that it looks like something bipedal had been in here at one time.
Yeah.
Right here, through this area right here. So that's what it looks like from the rear on it. But I don't know if the camera's going to give it any justice, but it does look like something right here has front fin, or has front fin at one point in time, because we noticed there was a break right here. See what I'm saying? There was a break right there. That was noticed. And this looks like it's higher, right here in the middle. I'm just making an observation. Of course, it could mean absolutely nothing, but it looks like something bipedal had been in here at some point in time. Does it go like that way to you a little bit?
Yeah.
I mean, it does to me.
It does to me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's to me too.
Because you can tell it's thicker there, thicker here, thinner through here.
Yeah.
And what's on the back side? Nothing. Nothing's been over here.
No.
Maybe only here on this side. So this was your spot.
Yep. That's where I thought I was on the menu.
That's nerve-wracking.
And then there was a big red one, and he was at least this wide, arms bigger than my leg, and very unfriendly. And
So he was probably 15 yards? 15 yards? 20 yards at the most?
he probably started about 8 to 10 yards inside, straight in, and then he got from there to right about here before I had time to spin and get my foot on the ground to try and run.
Right.
And at that point, it was automatically pull the bow back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shaking so bad, I don't know if I'd ever got it back far enough to do anything, but it saw me going through the motions, and it ducked straight back in.
Okay, so he punched out.
Yeah.
He said, I'm out. I'm out of here.
So
Huh.
at that point, I didn't move for a few minutes. I'm get my composure. I'm not one to panic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're kind of trapped in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of one way in, one
Yeah.
way out. I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
but you're not going to... Hey, Tim, we need you
He
to do
was-
an example right here. Run through that.
He was in
Yeah.
between you and the way
See how
out.
far
Yeah.
you can then run
I've
before
been
you
in the
fall
woods
down.
all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I did ironwork for a living. I've been in places where you can't get out of, and you can't afford to panic. You have to keep your composure. It's not a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy was the red one.
This was the big red one.
Big
Uh-huh.
red one.
Okay.
And I think he's kind of maybe nicknamed, I kind of nickname it Big Red.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard
That's
of,
what I call
other
it.
people have told me this.
that's what I called it. Big red. Big red was going to eat me.
Wow.
And
So,
like I said, I stood there from. It seemed like an eternity, but it was only minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I got most of my composure back. I'm still trembling.
So you were hearing him moving around in there,
When he ducked back down,
until he came
I
out.
could hear numerous things moving back in there.
Uh-huh.
At that
Okay.
point, I didn't know if it was them, pigs,
Yeah.
or what.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the pig. I heard before he jumped. I
Mhm.
could hear what I thought were the pigs coming through. It might have been that family unit coming through.
Yeah. Yeah. It could
Because
have been. Yeah.
I say it's family unit.
Yeah.
you get an idea how tall?
This one was probably over 8 foot.
You look to me like you're about 6'3".
I'm 6 foot even.
6 foot even?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I think you're, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You
Well,
look
you look
just
a
a little bit
little taller
bigger
than
than
that.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
with
yeah.
the boots, 6'1".
Yeah.
So we're
I'm
talking...
just wide.
Right, so we're talking 2 feet higher than
A
you.
good 2 feet taller. Yeah.
Minimum taller.
Oh boy.
And a head like that.
Uh huh.
That's all I can say. That's huge.
Yeah. That's pretty big.
Wait till you
scary.
come into that situation, you'd be saying more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no telling what's going to happen. I hope that doesn't
That
happen.
is scary. So
Mhm.
Tim and I came down here, we walked down here. We didn't know that's where he jumped or where he had went through, but we both looked at this spot and said, hey, this looks like something in the past has been through this area. That's what you hear.
Mm-hmm.
Strange that that's where old boy decided to pull.
That's where he came out from. To that oak tree right there.
Yeah.
About 8 to 10 yards back in.
Mm-hmm.
He went from there to here.
Yeah,
That
and
quick.
you said it was higher and
And that's-
denser too.
That's about
Was
15
that-
yards
Yeah.
or so where you were standing
It
back
was
there.
more like a
So
lot
when
of
you
it was
seen
like
it?
this, but there was a lot of it that was
It was within about 15 yards of him.
probably a foot taller than what it is right over there. Actually, those bushes right there to your right,
Yeah.
closest to you, they were a hair taller than that and thick, real thick. And he was at least this wide, arms bigger than my legs, and very unfriendly.
This guy was the red one.
This was the big red one.
Big
Uh-huh.
red one.
Okay.
And I think he's kind of maybe nicknamed, I kind of nickname it Big Red.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard
That's
of,
what I call
other
it.
people have told me this.
that's what I called it, big red. This one was probably over 8 foot.
You look to me like you're about 6'3".
I'm 6 foot even.
6 foot even?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I think you're, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You
Well,
look
you look
just
a
a little
little
bit
taller
bigger
than
than
that.
that.
Well, with
yeah.
the boots, 6'1".
Yeah.
So we're
I'm
talking...
just wide.
Right, so we're talking 2 feet higher than
A
you.
good 2 feet taller. Yeah.
minimum color.
Oh boy.
And a head like that.
Uh-huh.